Good morning. Hold on, Elijah.
Good morning, brother.
How you doing, man? Good to see you. Glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the conversation, bro. Do your thing, so.
Thank you. Good, Father Elijah.
Yeah, as I was saying, the war that's going on right now between Israel and Palestine, all these talks of genocide and, trying to make my people look bad is not true at all. Because what these terrorists are doing, right, they're using these children as body shields so they can make us Jews look bad in the conflict. So, all this talk of us denying them aid, stuff like that, it's not true. It's all made up. It's all fabricated by the media, so...
Wait, hold on. How can it be fabricated by media that the Jews own?
We don't own all of it.
Bro, y'all killing the fuck out them folks. It's okay.
No, it's not true. We're not.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Rex.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's okay.
There's a duality to it, bro. There's a good thing.
Hold on. Let Father Elijah. Let's have the conversation. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
At what point does Israel? And I am pro-Israel. They need to get rid of Hamas. Hamas is a cancer in society. But at what point does Israel say, what we've been doing for 2 years now is just not working?
No,
all we're doing is killing this. Well, hold on. All we're doing is now the population has dropped because so many people have died. At what point do they rethink their strategy? Where and the truth is this, you know it as well as I do. There have been women and children have been killed. I'm not allowed to say that because I'm a Jew.
What needs to happen is
you didn't say that once.
It's either they go or we kill them all. That's just my mindset.
And then, that mindset is what brings so much smoke to the Jewish community. Oh, either they go or we just wait. Then it becomes a genocide. Everybody, do me a favor. Hold on a second, Rex. Hold on, man, guys. I know it's a very polarizing topic because I'm criticizing my community, but we need to have a one-mic policy. If I'm having a dialogue with somebody, please let me finish that dialogue. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that mindset, see what you just said? Pikachu, you see what this man just said? Either they go or we eliminate them all. And that's just going to feed into the narrative that there is a genocide.
You see what I said earlier?
Well, you see, they go
because
in the rules of war, right? In the rules of war, their children is their offspring. If we let them live, they're going to come back and get us. So they have to go.
You realize the Nazis said the same thing about the Jews too, right?
That's what I believe.
That's wild, bro. That's wild.
Every single Palestinian child has to go. Every last one of them.
You see, Pikachu? You see what I'm saying? I opened up the can of worms. Well, we're not supposed to have this conversation? Because this is hold on, Big Rex, how he thinks a lot of people think. And that's I don't think that. I adamantly disagree with this man. But the strategy we've been employing over there is just not working. They're still there. Look at Pikachu.
Look, this is a really emotive topic at this stage. I just want to say, look, we both got stories, where people have let us down and stories where they showed up. I think the trick is, to not let the worst of these people define how you see the thing as a whole. I mean, if that makes sense. But all I'm saying is, you said earlier, no one gets more criticism than the black community, and I hear that. But if that's true, then you also know how dangerous it is when the whole group gets judged for the actions of a few. I mean, you've lived that. So I just ask, can we just hold that same grace when it's about Jews as well?
But is it just a few, or is it a sweeping ideology that's very common amongst that group?
No, JB came into this conversation with a very sweeping statement. He said the Jewish people are the most racist people in town.
What I said was, in my lived experience, and I made the statement yesterday, in my lived experience, the biggest racist community that I have engaged with has been my own community. I'm an outlier in that community because I won't put up with it. But because I won't put up with it, I get smoked. Why don't you fall in line like the rest of the Jews? Why don't you have this ideology? It makes no sense to me.
It sounds to me like, this is honestly how it sounds to me. It sounds to me like you don't feel part of the family. You're like a member of the family who has been excommunicated. JB, that's what it feels like to me. It feels like you're a Jewish person who doesn't feel a belonging with a Jewish.
Is he telling the truth?
how he feels. You know, I can't.
Is there truth to what he's saying?
What do you mean? Is it? It's his feeling. It's his truth.
To me,
it's his truth.
Pikachu. To me, it sounds like self-hate. Okay,
Yeah,
JP.
there could be an element of self.
Oh my God! Listen to this bullshit.
No, it sounds like y'all. It sounds
Hold
like
on,
y'all
Rex.
take accountability.
Rex. Let me stand my square. Once again, I'm going to reiterate. October 7th happened. I was the first motherfucker to open the room to go to war with the anti-Semites. Me, because I'm a Jew. I stand with my people. But as a good Jew, it's also my responsibility to call out the bullshit. We just heard Father Elijah say, kill all the Palestinians. Well, that's a bigger problem to me than what I'm saying about my own community. But you rather focus on what I'm saying than what this fucking lunatic just said. That's amazing.
No, you have no right calling me a lunatic, brother.
Okay, because when you call for the elimination of a whole people, you're a fucking lunatic. And that's a bigger problem in our community than what I'm saying. Don't you see that, Pikachu? But you rather skate over that and say, how dare this Jew say anything about Jews? He doesn't feel like he's part of the family. Let me tell you who my family is. I'd rather go sit down and this is no smoke, but it's the truth. I'd rather go break bread with Sig and King who treat me with respect than a community that can't take criticism for their flaws.
I've been listening to this entire conversation, right? And the very interesting thing about this whole conversation is that JB said at the very beginning of the conversation with you, Pikachu, is that when he holds the Jewish community accountable, he literally said that he's excommunicated and it's like basically self-hate. And like now here we are like 45 minutes later and y'all are saying exactly what he said would happen.
Look, all I'm saying is that.
But he knew that was going to happen. JB's too smart.
Look, no, JB, the thing is, at the end of the day, it sounds like you feel excommunicated from your own community. Are you excommunicated from your community?
You can't excommunicate me, man. You can't tell me what my religious beliefs are, what group I want to support.
I'm talking about the people you hang around with.
Well, the people I hang around with are mostly black, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So, I mean,
do you hang around with any Jews?
Yeah, I have some very lifelong friends that are Jews, and you know what? They kind of agree with me that the sensitivity of the Jewish community to take criticism is at an all-time high. Listen, I get it. Anti-Semitism has been normalized. I don't understand it, but it has.
Yeah.
And I fight them. Hold on. AK, if you come off your mic again, I'm just going to throw you out. But let me tell you something, man. Anti-Semitism has been as normalized as racism in America. That's just the truth. I don't understand. I hate it. But if I don't call out the problem in our community, how do we have the conversation with other communities unless we take accountability for ours?
Well, I'd rather say that there's a much bigger problem with racism than anything else, whether it be to whichever community it might be towards. So the problem is not anti-Semitism or anti-Blackism. The whole problem is racism, isn't it? You've just pointed that out yourself. We have to fix up our minds in terms of the way we look at race. But that's not just a Jewish problem. That's everybody's problem.
Hold on. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This moron in the chat, who I moved down, Father Elijah, JB, I'm a Jew, and your treatment to me is disgusting. I'm sorry, you came on my stage and said that we should kill every Palestinian, including babies.
Well,
the Jewish. Hold on a second. But hold on a second. So you're more focused on me criticizing my community than this lunatic who claims to be a Jew calling for the genocide of an entire population. That's amazing to me.
No, JB, you're always going to get people who with extreme views who I don't particularly entertain, because the minute somebody says that they want to take out a whole nation, there's no point in even engaging with idiots like that, to be fair. You know? At the end of the day, I'm having a conversation about you and your lived experience, right? Where you feel excommunicated from a community because you think the community hasn't stood up for you at a deep and dark point in your life. There's a way to fix that.
Yeah.
You know, we have to work together.
Actually, I've tried to work together. And you know what? I get the support from every other community but my own. It's really just, and listen, I already know. Like AK said, I knew the blowback I was going to get. I knew I was going to be thrown out of the Jewish community on this app. And you know what? I don't want to be part of a community that calls for the genocide of a fucking entire people. I don't want to be part of a community that if I say, hey, listen, racism's allowed in my community because we're Jews. Because, well, listen, here's the truth. I want to give you a little secret into my experience with Judaism, right? They have no problems talking shit about black people, Spanish people, Asian people. They'll smile to their face, but they'll be like, hey, King, I'm not renting you my house. You're too black for my house. It's the truth, bro.
You know, we're a small community that has faced real genocide.
Face what he said. How about that?
We're not going to
You're avoiding it. Avoidance. Number one.
What am I avoiding? What am I avoiding?
That's it. When he said that just made, you just totally skipped around it.
Well, I personally don't care. You don't have to give me a house because I'm black. Why? Because if black people did what the Jewish community did, we would be in a better situation. So I really don't give a fuck. I think everybody should be racist to us a little bit. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. That's it.
Well, there you go. It's not just the Jewish community then, is it?
I mean, that's also a justification. We're not just animals anymore. We're sentient.
I mean, this is the United States of America. If you can't work with other people, you need to get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Respectful.
And not only that, Jews, well, one thing I like about them, they pay the cost. A lot of people want to talk, but you ain't got no money. You're broke.
But I'm learning something this morning that
guess what? Hold on 1 second. I'll give you a chance to talk. The Jews are paying the cost. I like that about them. They're going to be sensitive and say, you know what? I'm going to buy every fucking politician up in here. I'm a real fucking Jew, and I'll buy the world. I think other people should take that fucking ideology on. They're paying the cost. Why aren't you? I don't blame Jewish people saying, you know what? Yeah, I might be a little fucked up, but don't talk about me. I got enough money to shut you motherfuckers down. I'm not even mad at it. To be honest, I love JB, but he's a little too honest. He needs to be a little bit more Jewish. Fuck that. I see how Jews stick together. They create opportunities for other people and themselves. And even if they're executives, guess what? Before they take your side, guess what they're going to do? Take each other's side and sign somebody else. Now, did I like it? No. But did I fucking respect it? Absolutely. Because what should my brother do? What should my brother do? I'm not talking about an offshoot. I'm talking about family. So I'm not mad at Jews conducting themselves like family men and women. Somewhere in here, we've lost our fucking way, and Jews haven't. They're bossing up and paying more money than ever to shut your ass down. Kanye, you got a problem? We made you a millionaire. Go back, and when you come back, we'll welcome you. I'm not mad at Jewish people. Sorry, JB. I'm just...
JB, can I have a chance?
Wait, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Father Elijah. Let me say something. That was too house niggerish for me.
No, Tom, apologize.
It was, and I rock
Who
with
cares?
you.
Who gives a fuck? Let them talk.
I understand.
Listen, no matter what he thinks, it's not
I'll let you speak, bro. I'll let you speak, bro. With that niggerish shit you was saying, I'll let you speak, bros. Please, let me get this in.
Bitch ass nigga, I wasn't talking.
Okay, I know you're mad.
I wasn't talking.
I know you're triggered because you did your
dumb
room
ass up. I
dance.
was talking to the person in the background.
I know, but we were talking about
I said
something
you
else.
have the right to say how you feel.
I understand house nigger boy.
Listen,
I understand house nigger boy.
Fuck
But
is
let me respond to
Big Rex.
musty ass fraud.
Alright.
The Stone City
Slave. If you sound like a slave, I'm gonna say you sound like a slave.
Brother,
If you can make me
Hold on a second.
I just want to respond to you.
Go ahead, Big Rex.
Shut your
I
ass
told you,
up.
hold on a second, guys. Gentlemen.
Hey, yo, JB, I don't fuck with that because I was actually like, yo, let him talk. But instead of him fucking listening, he got a problem. Shut your dumb ass up.
Shut
I
your
don't give
bitch
a fuck
ass
what a
up,
nigga
bro.
think about me.
I know you're upset.
Hey, yo, JB, why would I care about what somebody think about me?
Why this
Don't
nigga
pay
keep
me.
getting off the mic, bro?
What is wrong with you, nigga? Shut up.
Okay, let's have the conversation. Hold on, Big Rex. AK, I moved you down because I told you if you keep interrupting speakers, I'm not going to have you on the stage because you have a habit of doing that. So if one of the mods want to bring you back up, next time I'm not moving you, I'm just throwing you out.
JB, I'm sorry for what I did.
You didn't do it. You're a genocidal maniac. That's your business. Big Rex, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, yo. So, Pete Jew, JB was bringing up some of the racist elements in your community, and this is new to me because I didn't think there was more of a racist element in the Jewish community than another community. So if there is ostracization for JB, and he's calling out the facts, or there's calling out instances where the Jewish people are racist, I don't think that is a bad thing. And if he's getting false treatment from it, or not so good treatment from his fellow Jewish brothers, for holding you all holding you all accountable for the things you're doing, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because we all have to be honest. All communities, I believe, deserve to have an honest conversation. And I'm not saying, hey, incorporate, all the blacks or all the good blacks into your practices or your culture. But I believe in America, people who do good business and people who are good people shouldn't alienate each other. And what I'm learning here is there is a underlying culture of anti-blackism, sort of like anti-Semitism, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with calling that out. Now, what I had a problem with what King was doing was, while we were having a conversation about that, it's so easy to get off topic and avoid accountability. And what you did was you got in the conversation and it was like, oh, yeah, I like what the Jews are doing. Whoop, whoop. That's going against what we're talking about. So you can get offended and get triggered like a little bitch. But I'm gonna tell you, bro, that's some
Rex, no personal attacks. Rex, you don't have to attack.
Yeah, he was talking mad shit, bro. He was talking mad shit because he a bitch. That's fine.
Hold on, John.
JB. He's a little bitch. He's a little cool monkey boy.
Don't give me
half. Don't do it all over your mouth, boy.
Everything you can afford is talk.
All right, let me.
You're rich and a coon.
Yo, ass.
Hold on.
Musty.
All right, guys. If you respect me, respect my space, please. Let everybody get their chance to speak. Attack the point, not the person. But let me say something. So, yes, Lindsay, Jews are the hardest working people. I have no doubt about it. So are the blacks. So are the Latinos. Have you been to Texas to see how they work down there? I'm not saying, I have pride in my people. But I also have a tinge, this might trigger some of you people, I have a little tinge of shame. Because they're so sensitive. Now, King's lived experience with the Jewish community is vastly different than mine. I've dealt with them more on a daily basis than maybe King has. I don't know his lived experience. He got a contract, he got paid. God bless him. Hold on. God bless, but my lived experience hasn't been the greatest.
Well, I made millions with Jews, so I don't give a fuck. And guess what? I didn't. Guess what, JB? I didn't need a Jew to like me. That's the problem. People want to be liked. I don't care about being liked. I care about being paid. Whether a Jew likes me is not going to keep my lights on.
All right, let me do a quick.
Business, hold on. But we can do business, and we can continue to move. People want to be liked. I never liked Hillary Clinton, but it's one thing I agreed with her when she talked to Black Lives Matter. She said, I don't believe you change hearts and minds. I believe you change laws and policies. What is it that you want from the Jewish community? The same way I'm going to ask the black people, what is it that you want from your brother? I think Jews are doing it right. As I look at how Jews operate in the Diamond District, there's a code of integrity there amongst brothers. What's wrong with that?
Hold on.
My problem is everybody will say they want to be in a gang, in an organization. Well, guess what? The Jews are running their shit like a real mob. Like a real gang. And guess what? Hold on one second. I got you. I'm going to give it to JB. I can actually appreciate people who have integrity and stick to their words and say, you know what? If you don't operate how we say, get the fuck out of here. I like that shit.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick room reset. The Celtic debates. The world's on fire. Bigots, racists, reprobates are welcome in the space. Good morning, Kelly. Hola. Jason, how you doing? Tony, the serial killer, how you doing? Tyson, G, I see you. Stinny. Always loving Stinny's in my spaces. Nicole, hey, Nicole, what are you doing down there? Guys, if you have a pink ticket, cash it in. So I made a statement that I knew it was a polarizing statement, but I just didn't want... Steve, I got you, Steve, man. You don't have to keep... I got you, I promise. So here's the deal. I'm a Jew, I'm a Zionist, but I'm also a man, first and foremost. Now, I said the statement that I believe, because I've been holding a lot of these racial relation rooms, that the biggest racist that I've experienced in my life is my own community. And Now, I'm not allowed to say that because I'm a Jew. I can't criticize my own community. I can't put a mirror to them. But they have no problems holding up a mirror to everybody else. And I think that's a problem. I think as a real Jew, as a real man, it's my responsibility to call out what I see, what I've heard, and what I've experienced. So before I go to you, Steve, let me welcome Uncle Steve to the stage. Uncle Steve, good morning.
Good morning, JB. Thanks for holding the space. Did you want me to wait for my couple of minutes? I can wait, or did you want me to go?
If you want to go now, you're more than welcome to.
I would love to go now. It's so rare that I have join a room opened by you this early in the morning. You get your sleep last night or what?
Yeah, I did get some sleep.
I've been on Clubhouse. This is going into my 5th year. I've been living in beautiful Southern California my entire life. And yes, y'all, I am an old white man. This is true. Let me tell you, everybody in my world has the opportunity to be a stupid fucking idiot. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, gray, or brown. I don't care if you're Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. Everybody has the opportunity to be a bigoted, stupid.
Did we lose him, or is it just me?
I don't care what your religion is. Everybody in my mind is an individual. And I know individuals from all around the world of all skin colors and religions that are totally smart. And I know a bunch through my time on Clubhouse of colors and religions and sexes and sexual orientations that are stupid and just don't make any sense whatsoever. In my humble opinion, and I'll land it here, JB, I don't think you can group any group and say that 100% of that group are this way. I think everybody in the group is different, and I personally judge everybody on their own individual merits.
Well, Steve.
Good.
Steve, you came into the conversation a little late. I didn't say all Jews. I said my community. Yesterday I was asked the question, what community do you feel has the most racial undertones? And I said, I didn't even hesitate. I said my community. Because it's been my lived experience. My lived experience is different than Pikachu or any other Jew, right? But the hypersensitivity inside the Jewish community to criticize the Jewish community, you automatically lose your Jew card. And I'm at that point in my life, I don't give a fuck. If you don't roll with me, if you don't call it out for what it really is, then you shouldn't be in my circle. And that's how I feel, Steve. I didn't say all Jews. I said the Jews I've lived with, the seen, been around. They won't come up on the stage and show their racism. They'll smile in your face like a true racist does. But I'm not saying the entire Jewish community. Trust me, Steve. If a Jewish girl marries a black boy, that Jewish girl may lose her family. That's a fact.
Thank you, JB.
Steve, we?
Yeah, just listen to this. What you was talking about thing and King, it just points to one thing we see over and over. You get outside the herd of the herd mentality that's present in society now, and you want to walk your walk and you want to say what you think's right. You better get ready for incoming fire because you're going to get it. Hey, kudos to both of you guys. You're going to walk your walk and you're going to do your thing, and I love it.
Thank you. Well, let me say this. I already knew that once I made that statement today, that I was going to get major blowback. Because I can guarantee you there's going to be rooms now talking, he's not a Jew. I told you he wasn't a Jew. Because I had some criticism. I also said that the Jewish community is probably one of the strongest communities, one of the hardest working communities, one of the most successful communities. But they don't hear that part. What they hear is my criticism of, you ready? My own community. right? So when a black man comes up on stage or a black woman comes up on stage and criticizes the black community, he's cooning. Because he has no right to criticize his own community. What are you thinking there? Why would you say that? Well, I think real men stand on their square and say, hey, wait a second. Yes, with all this great stuff, I support Israel and what they're doing in Iran. But let's have the real conversation where I've lived and seen the racism coming out of my community.
Yeah, but JB, if I could just come back on you here. Calling Jews the most racist or saying that Jewish racism is somehow unique, that's where I push back, because no group has a monopoly on prejudice. And Jewish racism isn't excusable, but it also is not the whole picture.
I would say my community is the most racist. That's the undertone, because that's the experience I live. It's just a personal experience.
What's your community?
Indian, Kuwaiti, Persian.
No, yeah, definitely the most racist.
Well, Pikachu, let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest. You're telling me in your lived experience, AK, I'm fucking done with you with your stupid sounds and all this nonsense. Pikachu, you're going to tell me in your lived experience you've never experienced racist Jew.
No, of course I've experienced racist Jews. In the same way that a Jew will experience racist Jews in his or her community, you'll find racists in any community. Whatever community you belong to, you always find racists within those communities. I'm saying it's not pinpointed towards Jews.
But you know what's funny though? It's what's funny. It's not funny. It's actually kind of sad. I shouldn't say it's funny. I'm saying what I'm saying, that there's a lot of racial undertones in the Jews. Not a lot, but there's a certain segment, right? But this other guy came up, Father Elijah, a self-proclaimed Jew, said that I'm a self-hating Jew because of what I'm saying, A and B. Then he said, we need to eliminate all Palestinians, including the children. But we'll focus on me and saying that there's racial undertones that come out of the Jewish community because I criticize it. That idiot comes on the stage. You should have went after him with both guns blazing, saying you don't represent me. But you let him spew his hate, and you're more focused on me pointing to the Jewish community.
That's real. I think JB has the right to feel how JB feels, family. I don't understand where lack of accountability. Yeah, shout out to you. I don't understand where lack of accountability equals less of racial pride. I don't understand that, JB. To where when you hold your community accountable, now you hate your community. I could have sworn the parent that loves the child holds the child accountable because you want to see the child be better. So I think at some point people need to have a conversation with JB to get a better understanding. That's all. It's funny how I'm a coon when I say, no, black people is some shit we need to fix. Maybe if you have more people holding you accountable, maybe you'll be better people. I believe JB wants to see the Jewish community be even better. And maybe if you embrace them and try to understand them, maybe you'll have even more love. You know what I mean? I think we don't respect people's journey in life. Everybody wasn't raised the same. Certain roads you went down, I didn't go down. I seen something different. So who am I to tell him that his truth isn't his truth? That's his reality, right? But let's try to get understanding. That's what I think we need to do, to be honest with you, Jay.
Thank you. I just don't understand. I got you, Steve. I just don't understand, and I still understand how. Here's my truth. I can open up a room, and black people will come in, and they will criticize, they will embrace, they will love, all this, the whole spectrum, and have the conversation. But you say one thing against the Jewish community, you're an anti-Semite, you're a self-hating Jew. That's bullshit, man. You know, I can give 1,000 positives, and I say one negative, they focus on the negative. Like I said, this dude came up on stage, this guy, Father Elijah, and called for the genocide. His exact words were, kill all the Palestinians and their children too, because they're going to grow up to be anti-Semites. You don't speak from this Jew. See, I called his ass out. But Pikachu was more focused on me saying that there's racial undertones in the Jewish community. Make that make sense, somebody.
What did they? Oh, go ahead, sir.
Well, 2 words: blind faith.
Sounds like some of the Trumpers, right? They have blind faith in everything Donald Trump says. He's God. I can't bring AK up, Sig and King. If you want to bring him up, please do. Sig the mic.
Yeah, let me get you up here, AK. All right, here we go. You know, it's the same thing in the black community, JB. It's the same thing. You can say 1,000 great things about black people, but the minute you're like, hey, you know what? This is fucked up in our community. Like, we need to start getting our families back together. This baby mama, baby daddy bullshit, it's not helping our community at all. Again, when we present Glorilla on a stage, and this is a representation of black people at the BET Awards, and we say, hey, Glorilla wins a gospel award, and we we clap and applaud and allow that, and we make ourselves look like clowns in front of the entire world when we do shit like that. You know, and you call that out, yeah, you're a coon, you know, you hate yourself, self-hate, you know, you hate your mama's black, how can you know, it's just dumb shit, bro. It's retarded. And as men, we're supposed to be the leaders in our community, and leaders hold each other fucking accountable. You know, so it's just crazy to me that men can't look at the flaws in our community, and as men, we can come together and say, hey, you know what? We can be better. I mean, every CEO, every president, every single company is always evaluating what they can do better to generate more revenue. They never just say, oh, we're making this much revenue, we're just going to sit pretty because everything's perfect, everything.
Well, you know, it's just the labels that we put on people, right? Because I'm calling out what my lived experience. Nobody can tell me what my lived experience is, but I've lived it. But when I call it out, I'm self-hated. You're a coon. What's with all these fucking labels? And I agree with you. Real men stand up and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on in our community. This has been my lived experience. Steve, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just going to say I got to take off, but you know, you guys, this is what we need. We need more open, honest dialogue to each other. We're not a bunch of little kids that can't express ourselves to each other and be real and honest with each other. If we can't do that, we're in bad shape. You know, it's good to have people be honest and straightforward with each other. Be a man. Address what's being said to you. Take it like a man and examine it. If the shoe fits, wear it. Try and make yourself better. Don't go attacking someone else because they made a good point. Just roll with it and see if that's what it is, that's what it is. And that's it.
Well, here's the thing. Thank you, Steve. And I hope you have a great day. Here's the thing. I pulled back the curtain a little bit, right? But no other Jews are going to come up on stage and part of that community is going to come up and say, I agree with him. There is undertones of racism. Here's the thing, right? If we don't talk about it, we can't address it. If we can't address it, we can't fix it. Jewish people want to know why there's so much anti-Semitism. Well, because you won't own your there's no accountability. So when I call it out, trust me, I'm going to get smoked. There's not going to be a Jew on this app that's going to engage with me anymore. There's Jews in this room. Come up to the stage. Stand on your square. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. But you can't, because it's my lived experience. It's my viewpoint into the world. It's crazy to me how I say one thing, I can say 1,000 positive things about the Jewish community, but I say one criticism. Oh, he's not really a Jew. He never was a Jew. Because they know me in real life. They know my lived experience. It's fucking ridiculous. Good morning, KP, and then I'm going to go to Othello. KP, how you doing, bro?
What up, KP?
Doing well, guys. Just driving home from work. Just want to say hello. Trying to catch up to speed on the conversation.
Oh, I'm not.
JB's cool to KP.
Oh, boy. Welcome to the club, JB.
Thank you, KP. I lost my Jewish card. I'll take the Cooney card. Okay?
Nah, I think you're in a good situation, JB. Think you need to show the Jews some love, brother. For real. Show the Jews some love, family. You're in a better situation because being black is even more confusing. Niggas will say you not pro-black and then play music that say kill the ops and the ops look like you. Wait a minute. At least the Jew ain't trying to kill you.
Yo, that's so true, King. Like, it's like these people have more smoke for people on a Clubhouse app where you're only talking to maybe 60, 70 people at a fucking time, but have no problem with these rappers promoting killing other black people over something as simple as stepping on my shoes or disrespecting me on Facebook. You said something on Instagram about my mama and I'm gonna smoke you. I'm gonna leave your dreads bloody, you know. Like, they have less of a problem with that. I mean, yeah, less of a problem with that than a motherfucker just talking his life experience and things he's experienced. Have a conversation on a fucking habit. It's crazy.
And that's why when JB says, about my experience with Jews being different, he's right. Because I was on Bankhead and Heart of the Ghetto. It's certain things I don't like that the Jewish execs did. But guess what? I'm looking outside at the ghetto. And I'm signed to people that look black like me that are not going to present this opportunity. And the Jewish people did not play. 1 minute you're in the ghetto, next thing you're on the plane. Let's discuss the business. How much you want to do? We'll pay for your lawyer. You want a black lawyer? White lawyer. What did I say? Being pro-black. What did I say? What did Dr. Umar say? You know what I said? I told the Jews, give me a black lawyer. What did the Jewish people say? Okay, we'll pay for it. What did the black lawyer say? Well, if you get a deal, the fuck you mean if? I didn't get a black lawyer for this shit. I didn't get a black lawyer for you to doubt me. And the Jewish people bringing me to New York City for me to do the deal? So then at that moment I learned, damn, I should have got a Jewish lawyer. It was 2 Jews that brought me. The other Jew that brought me named John Shapiro. They signed Nipsey Hussle, Joey Badass, Big Crit. Look it up. He married to a black woman right now. Certain things I can't agree with JB. I know beautiful Jewish girls that went to school on the water. I signed a Def Jam, and they was trying to get real busy in that hotel. Trust me. They was trying to start relationships in that hotel, JB.
Yeah, in a hotel, but they're not bringing you home. I'm about to wait. They're not bringing you home, bro.
I just told you, I know a Jewish guy now. You can pull his name up, fam. Listen, hold on a second. We're talking multi-millionaire Jews, fam. They're married to black women, bro. I know Jewish girls who want to come to the crib. I didn't let her come to the crib. Because she was already talking to a Jewish dude, bro. So I respected him. Because he helped us get the Def Jam between me and you, Jay. So I didn't take it further than that. Very sweet girls, bro. So, I think that if my daughter brought home a broke Jewish man, I probably won't want her to be with him either. Are you bringing home, is that Jewish girl bringing home an affluent black man who's winning in life, who's making money? That would be my question, Jay. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Because, JB, I can't take away from what you know, and I never would. I would be an idiot to take away from your knowledge and what you've experienced. But I also know another side, bro. And I know some Jewish men married to black women. I just.
Well, here's the other side. I know some great Jewish people. Right? Incredible, successful businessmen, successful fathers. Right? Part of the community that pour back into the community. But let me ask this question to the room. Because I want to say good morning to Othello. Is any community above criticism? Is somebody part of that community allowed to criticize the community? That it's really baffling to me. Like I said, maybe a half an hour ago, I was having a dialogue with Pikachu, and then Father Elijah, a self-proclaimed Jew, came up and said, I want to exterminate all Palestinians. You don't speak for this Jew. I don't agree with that at all. I also said, what's the end game in Gaza? Right? Doing it for 2 years, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for different results. I think they need to come up with a different plan for Gaza. Because there are innocent people now. There is a term called overkill. But I'm not allowed to say that because I'm a Jew. And I know I get some rolling eyes in the audience. They're going to run to other rooms and say, Jay's a Jew hater. No, I love my community. But because I love my community, I got to call out the hypocrisy in my community. Good morning, Othello.
Good morning, JB, Sig, King, the whole room.
Hey, good morning, Othello.
How you doing, Othello? So today we're talking about the world is on fire. Bigots, racists, and reprobates welcome. We went down this rabbit hole of me being a self-hating Jew, which I don't get, but okay, you can label me what you want.
Good morning.
So, Othello, do you want to chime in the conversation, or you just want to sit with the cool kids?
Man, rarely do you see communities offering other communities like their worst, or going down the checklist of the worst of that community, especially when you look around the room. Maybe 80% of people in this room will probably never go to the quote-unquote hood or deal with black people outside of work. And so they already have a perspective on black people if they're just looking at the media or things that they hear, right? Rarely do you hear the people like Sig talk about the best of us, you know, the billionaires, the millionaires, the well-to-do people, the business owners, the CEOs, the college graduates. So when you constantly volunteer the worst of your community and you make that your brand day in and day out, other communities, right, who don't really deal with your community, who only just hear bits and pieces, right, they will take that information and do what they will, you know. So it would behoove you, Sig, to maybe bring some balance into your conversation. And that's all I have to say. And I know the room agrees with me.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Othello, but again, these discussions on Clubhouse typically revolve around problems. Name one Clubhouse room where everybody was talking only about positive shit. This is typically talking about problems, whether it's race relations, whether it's political relations, whether it's religious relations. These conversations typically tend to revolve around problems and people dissecting and deep diving into these problems to find solutions. So yeah, you're not going to really hear, you know, let's talk all positive about politics. It's usually problematic. What are the problems? Because problems usually get discussed more because they need to get fixed in order to bring more positivity, Othello. And again, you know,
You're cooning.
the black community. Yeah, oh yeah. I wear my cooning badge proudly. The black community right now, compared to the Jewish community, compared to the Asian community, the Hispanic community, we're doing the worst right now. And I'm sorry, when your house is on fire, you don't give a fuck about, you're not sitting there while the house is burning and blazing talking about, oh, this was a beautiful structure. Man, you know, you don't talk about the positive things of the house that's burning down. You're only talking and focused on getting on that fire and putting that fire out. Once that fire is out, then you can have other conversations.
And so I look at what JB just did. JB brought up a great topic about racial undertones in the Jewish community. And that was a time for us to deal with that, go deeper into that and have the conversation about that. But you took it as a time to like have a racial trauma Olympics and go into the psychoanalysis of the worst of your community. So, like I said, there's got to be some balance. And don't go tit for tat with somebody on the worst of your own community.
Let me jump in here real quick. Thank you, Othello. I want to address something that was written in the chat. Usually I don't, but I have to now. So Rodney writes, Trump resort is coming to Gaza. See, that's the problem. They say things like that, and maybe they don't give a fuck. That statements like that are such a bad look into the Jewish community. Right? It's bizarre to me. It's bizarre to me. I think it's our responsibility as real men, real leaders, to call out the inadequacies in our community. But the one community that's so hypersensitive is the Jewish community. Listen, there's a million black spaces on this app where they bash each other and they call each other and they yell at each other, all this other bullshit. How many rooms on this app will say, hey, I'm a Jew, circumcised and all? And I'm telling you now, there's a problem in the Jewish community. Oh, I can guarantee you there's not going to be a Jew on this app that's going to talk to me after this room. But I stand on my square and I believe what I say. Let me see. Good morning to Nicole, then Michael. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning. I'll speak when you let me. Can I speak or?
Well, I got to tell you first, and this is going to get me even more excommunicated, Nicole, because I'm a Jewish man in America, and you're a beautiful black woman in America. I'm not allowed to say that's a black woman. But go ahead, Nicole.
Thank you. So what I will say is I've just been in and out listening, and I have avoided racial rooms on Clubhouse because they get like violent, people get emotional, and people say things in these rooms that they wouldn't say in person. What I will say is I am a proud black woman, but that doesn't make me hate any other group less. Like, it doesn't make me hate other groups because I love my people. Like, there's certain things that I say amongst the fam, black people, amongst the fam, that I'm not going to say in general spaces like this simply because it's general. And so when I come to spaces like this, I just want to be kumbaya. Let's all get together. Let's have a real conversation about what's going on. But I'm not going to join the brigade of people, because sometimes, JB, when you come to spaces like this, a lot of people are not open-minded like you. They have a very they don't really like others, and so in order for you to be cool, we got to hear you down your own people. And if you don't down your own people, then I can't be cool with you. I can't trust you. Well, you can trust me. I'm just like you. I want my group to thrive and survive. I want my group to, experience wealth, generational wealth. I want us to be able to own homes and have jobs and contribute to the fabric of American society like we've always done. But that never gets highlighted. And so when I come to spaces like this, I'm going to highlight the good parts of us. That doesn't mean I'm ignoring the bad parts of us, because if you ever follow me in those other rooms, you know I fuss, and I'm known for fussing. Okay, and my people. But when I come to spaces like this, I'm gonna highlight the best of us, because there's a lot of people in spaces like this who want us to throw darts at each other, because then they get to throw darts at us too without being labeled. And I don't like that either. And I don't like going in spaces and having people down their own people. I like spaces like this where I could come in and ask a general question, because I'm going to ask you, JB, about the Jews. A lot of people, and this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion as a YouTuber, because I'm in the YouTube space a lot, and a lot of people don't dislike Jews, but they do feel like white people get criticized, Mexicans get criticized, Puerto Ricans get criticized, black people get criticized. Everybody gets criticized, but it seems like the Jews, if you say something about them, you can shut down. Life is over for you. And a lot of people feel like it's sort of like this is an equal opportunity. Everybody gets offended in America. But if you say something to Jews, it's like you can shut down. And so a lot of people are kind of I don't want to say Jew fatigue, because I really don't understand that definition, but I feel like some people, and this is not my sentiment, I'm just telling you what the YouTube rhetoric is that why are they the only groups that they are extra sensitive? Like, for example, I'm going to give you a prime example, then I'm going to go back on mute. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. I watch both their channels. Ben Shapiro can talk like a white racist a lot of times. And I'm just like, when he's talking about Christianity, he's talking about family, I'm with him. Then when he starts criticizing the black community, and he starts sounding like a white racist. And I'm not saying that he can't criticize us or have points that he's making that are absolutely true, but it comes from this posture like, yeah, but if you say something against Jews, I'm going to shut you down. And so when Candace made an observation, I don't agree with her 100% of the time, let me be clear, but when she said, why can't they be criticized? So she started going down a list of things that she brought receipts and invoices, like this is what the Jews did, and da 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 da. And so when the conflict over there, she made some comments about the conflict over there. Ben Shapiro went off, and we already know what happened. He let her go from Daily Wire, and Prager, you cut her loose. I mean, it was just a whole fallout from that. So people see stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for your share, Nicole. Hang out for a while. Let me say this. There hasn't been a more pro-Jew Israel person on this app than me. I've held thousands of rooms supporting. I'm a Zionist. I support Israel. I don't agree with everything Israel's doing. I have that right to disagree. I have a right to say, hey, you know what? So I was asked a question yesterday, Nicole. What community do I feel has the biggest racist undertones in it? I said the Jewish community, because that's been my lived experience, right? I've seen it, I've heard it, I've lived it. So, but the hypersensitivity to point that out because I'm a Jew. By the way, I'm going to lose my Jew card today, Nicole, because I don't agree with everything. See, I'm not one of those lambs that just follow the fucking flock around. I'm gonna call out people for what I see and what I experience. This app's an anecdotal app. It's from our lived experiences. Now, if you fuck with a Jew, I'm gonna go shoulder to shoulder with that Jew. But rest assured, when this room closes, I'm gonna be the talk of the Jewish community on this app, because I'm calling it out for what I see. right? But they tend to forget the thousands of rooms I held pro-Jewish, the thousands of dollars I was able to get on this app for Jewish hostage families. They forget all that because I'm holding the mirror up to my community. Like when Sig says what Sig says or King says what he says, oh, they're cooning. But it's our responsibility as men to call out what we see wrong in our community. You want to stop the anti-Semitism? Have some accountability. And that's how I feel. Michael, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, man. I'm just listening in now.
Okay, Hermes, you were flashing your mic. Did you want to speak?
Yes, JB, you know I love you, man, and I am so proud of you. I mean, I feel your empathy. Believe me, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I do have a question for you, and you don't have to share if you don't want to, but I hope you do. Can you go into 2 or 3 specific reasons? You know, what exactly do you not agree with?
I don't understand the question. Agree with you, like, as far as what?
You said your community. You said there were some things that you don't agree with, and you're speaking out, or when you do speak out, you get the.
Well,
so
I don't
have some of those things.
I don't agree with the hypersensitivity. I don't agree with that. Like Miss Nicole said, you can't criticize the Jewish community, else you can get canceled. But rest assured, Hermes, there's not going to be a Jew that's going to come up on stage, and there's plenty of them in the audience, and that's fine. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I do.
Here, you hear
I
this?
love them as much as
He's
you
the
love your
biggest
Latino
piece of
brothers
shit
and
I've
sisters.
ever heard. One of the
But
biggest
rest
pieces of
assured, if you're
shit.
my brother, I got to tell you where you're fucking up. Right?
He's the king of the Jews!
Just like racism.
He is the king of the
Get
Jews!
out of your ivory tower, right? Have the conversation and start accepting people for where they're at. The Jewish community don't do that. They're very secular, and I get it. You know, never again. I heard that 1,000 times. But in order to, my biggest problem is there's no accountability. We're perfect. We're elitist. We're the greatest thing ever. We're survivors, right? We've been through so much. Yes, we have. So has the black community. You know, Jews will overlook that. Oh, it's just slavery. We were slaves too. It's all bullshit, bro. There is a undertone in the Jewish community, in my lived experience, and especially on this app, of racism coming out of the Jewish community. They'll sit there and say, Hermes, we love Latinos, but we're not going to rent you that apartment. We're not going to break bread with you, and your son is definitely not marrying my daughter. That's just listen, this has been my lived experience. But I have no right to call out what I see is wrong in my community. But we can sit here and criticize the black community all fucking day. We can sit here and criticize the Latino community all day. But when we go down that rabbit hole of criticizing the Jewish community, I mean, there was a guy in this room earlier, I think you were here, who called for the elimination of an entire people. Came up on stage, he said, I'm a Zionist, I'm a Jew. I said, okay, what do you got to say? He said, I think that, because I think the war on Gaza now is overkill. I think they have to come up with a different plan. We don't want to own the fact that we're starving these people out. Yes, Hamas is stealing aid. Yes, it's a fucking guerrilla warfare. I get it. But where's the end game in this? Where's the humanity in this? See, because there's certain Jews will say whatever they want because there's no accountability, but then cry, why is there anti-Semitism? So I have a problem with all that. So, and by the way, when I say to you that there's not going to be a Jew on this app, I probably lost 200 followers in the last hour.
Oh, you don't give a fuck. He's Jewish.
Make up content. This is me telling you the real. See, when I come on this app, Hermes, I speak from my real life experience, my real lived experience. I could take you to Williamsburg, Brooklyn, or Crown Heights, Brooklyn. You're going to go in certain pockets of those areas. You're going to get followed by a group of Jews, just because you're not one of them. Now I could walk through the ghetto. Nobody's following me. Nobody's gonna fucking bother me. There's not gonna be a squad of black or Latino men following me around going store to store. But I can't say that because I'm a Jew. I have to be a good Jew. Let me sit in the corner and not say anything. I think that's bullshit, bro. It's our job as men.
Isn't he? Harry, I think he's like the biggest psychopath I've ever heard. He's black, he's Jewish, he's a grifter. It's unbelievable.
There's a lack of leadership, and men really stand up because they're afraid of being canceled. Well, I'll tell you what, Jews, take my Jew card. I don't give a fuck. I'm comfortable with myself. I'm a proud Jew. But next time the shit hits the fan, don't look for my support. Think you were gonna say something?
I want to let the Jewish community know.
Over the
I'll
past
take
couple years, made me
JB's
believe
Jew
that
card.
you're Jew.
you for real. Hey, yo, this my problem with JB, right? That prison shit fucked you up, dog. It fucked you up. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm telling you right now. He'll say, if you go to the ghetto, won't be no black dudes following you. But if you go to the Jewish community, there'll be Jewish dudes following you. What community would you rather be in? The one that's safe or the one that's unsafe? I think I'd rather be in the Jewish community that's safe. Just because nobody following you don't mean the people in that neighborhood can sleep at night, JB. You got the game fucked up, bro. And I love you for real. I think prison fucked you up. I really do. I believe sometimes when we're in those type of situations...
Don't talk about his criminal past.
Not understanding that
he was a pimp. A pimp.
Why isn't the black community safe? Because we're not following the white Jew around unless we try to make the sale. Hey, man, you want to buy some hair wrong? What you want? You want some ice? What you want? You want some fentanyl? What you want?
Wow.
It should be somebody following you around the black neighborhood. Who is JB? He might be an informant.
He's a snitch.
I'm just keeping it real.
He's a snitch. He's a federal informant.
Is the reason why they're making fucking money. And guess what? I don't believe that if you give Nicole $1 billion, she'll let a girl on Clubhouse talk bad about her. I don't believe it. Anybody in this room, I don't believe it. You give them the hand of control, they won't shut down a motherfucker that's talking bad about them. Good night. I'm not mad at the Jews. The Jews say, you know what? I paid the cost to be the boss. And if you talk bad about me, I'll shut it down. Now, this is my question for the black community and the Latinos. Why the fuck we ain't doing that? When a motherfucker talk bad about us, why we ain't canceling them? Because you don't own shit but a Gucci bag. That's it.
Well, it's another layer to that, King, that I will throw in here, and then I'll be quiet. It's not that we don't criticize each other, because we do, like, ad nauseum. We do. But it's like every other group. When we come in general settings, we form like Voltron against our group. It gets defensive. Okay. We talk about my sister. We talk about brother. We know we have. My problem with the criticism of black community, and a lot of the criticisms that other groups have of the black community, I have also. So I'm not saying that they're wrong. What I'm saying is that why is that just our representation by and large? Because why aren't black folks like you and I highlighted? In all these conversations, it's always the worst of our group that's highlighted. It's always, you know who, the original culprits. It's never, let's talk about those professional black folks. Let's talk about it's always the worst of us. That's always been my complaint. And that's why black people get defensive when we're criticized. It's not that we disagree. A lot of times we agree, but it's like, okay, it's no balance. And so when people who have criticisms or come to spaces, that they can speak freely about their, prejudices and bigotry, whatever, they always highlight the worst of us. And that's where we get frustrated, because we're like, okay, is that going to come back to haunt us when we go try to get a job? Is that going to try to haunt us? Is that going to come back to haunt us when we try to buy a home in your neighborhood? Are you going to, because that's historically been the issue, and we're always on the defensive. And that's why people feel like we're always crying racism, because people are always talking about the worst of us. And it's like, if we don't come to places like this and completely throw our whole entire group under the bus, then that means we're denying that we have black trash. Oh yeah, we have black trash. And the reason why I don't call them black trash is because they're too sensitive to be called black trash. Like white trash. White trash will tell you, white trash, stay in your place. You have a place in the community. You do not have the mic. You will not, black trash all up and everywhere. Music, church, everywhere. Black trash has the mic. They do. They can't help it. They're probably dragging me in the chat right now. Because it exists. It exists, but it's just like they're the ones that are constantly referred to and not the best of us. And that's why we're constantly crying.
I would disagree with you.
JB, let me know when I can speak there. Thank you.
Well, I got you, man. We're going to go KP, and then we're going to go to you, and then man, I got you, Saab. Chill, bro. KP.
King, I would disagree.
Watch your tone, JB.
You watch from the audience. Go ahead, KP.
I would disagree with you. You can pay me $1 billion, but I'm a man. I'm going to disagree with you if you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. But wrong is wrong. I don't give a damn. I cannot be bought at all. Men can't be bought. Boys can. Punks can. Men can't.
Thank you, KP. I want to go to Miss Fifi. How you doing today, ma'am?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I enjoy your room. This is room number 2, day number 2. I wanted to talk a little bit about when you were saying about the Jewish communities and how it's always. I just wanted to bring up a situation that happened in my in the city. I'm in the outskirts. I'm in Baltimore County, but this happened in Baltimore. 2 teens back in, I want to say, 2 Jewish teens, 20. This happened. Let me get the news story. Bottom line is, it was a group of